Hello and thank you for tuning into my recap and review of Servant Season 4 Episode 1, which is titled Pigeon. In this video, I'm just going to be covering all the things that we saw in the episode that I believe could have some implications for character arcs or storylines that we're going to be getting later down in the road of the final season of Servant. So let's just get right into it, starting from the beginning, and we'll work our way to the top. Sean, we see in the beginning, is doing his very best Gordon Ramsay impression with his reality TV cooking show, so he's having a lot of fun, enjoying his celebrity appearance on that. Julian is still day drinking, and he's on his way to get Dorothy out of her presumed physical therapy center. And Leanne is totally enjoying the house to herself. We see her, preparing the place for the return of Dorothy. And the very curious thing about this scene, this entire sequence, is that we see a shot where, there's very curious cinematography going on where, she looks out of the window and she looks down at the homeless kids at the park, and they're, waving up to her. But, the way that this is framed, it's almost like she's like the queen, right, on top of her throne at the top of the castle, looking down at her loyal servants. See what I did there, servants? But yeah, no, it just makes me think that that's ultimately what we're leading to, right? Where Leanne's going to be totally in charge of all the kids at the park, all these people who have, renounced their loyalty to the former group that Leanne and themselves were all in, and now they're going to be looking to her for guidance and looking to her for, hey, what do we do next? What's our purpose in life? What do you want us to do? Leanne's going to have all that power, and it's just a matter of what is she going to do with that power? Is she going to use it for good? Is she going to use it for selfish reasons? Is she going to be, going towards a little more evil side of things? It's a just very curious shot selection that I wanted to point out. But speaking of the church and Leanne's old crew, we see that they're after her. One of them even breaks into the house. Man, the Turners need to get some better security system going on in their home, because, man, how many people have broken into their home over the course of 4 seasons? But, it's a pretty intense and pretty weird sequence that goes on here with all the people in the street who are just slowly walking to and circling Leanne in the street. And we see that nobody else is around. And, there's a moment where she does lock herself in the car, and a little bit of time progresses, and then she sees more people are coming out, and then it's like, wait, now she has no clue who to trust, and it's like, okay, is she being her usual paranoid self, or are these actually just the church members who are just trying to fit into the society and pretend that they're being, people that they're not? And we even see her stab a guy who's posing as a hot dog vendor, and another woman even comes in and she pretends to be, concerned about the guy, but then no, she's actually one of them too, and she douses Leanne with some type of liquid that possibly, maybe, I'm not sure if it's the reasoning for it, but it maybe makes her see someone in the back of the car seat that's not actually there. This woman in a dark gown, a ghostly figure. So we'll see what becomes of that sequence. But I especially wasn't expecting to hear Maroon 5 in this series when Leanne was trying to get the car started, before we saw one of the old church members be really creepy outside of her car window and trying to convince her to go back with them. And in this moment, though, Leanne is saying, no, I'm not coming back with you, and as a matter of fact, I never will, and I'm becoming something different now. I'm changed. I'm not the person you thought I was before. And that goes back to, with her looking over the homeless people at the park. What is this newfound power going to do to Leanne? Is it gonna make her go down this path where she's gonna use her power and her influence for evil purposes? We're just gonna have to wait and see. But then, of course, the episode is titled Pigeon. Then, out of nowhere, all these pigeons start coming out of they come down from the heavens themselves, and they just completely mess up all the church members. We even get this gnarly shot of one of the pigeons pecking out one of the dude's eyeballs. I mean, it was pretty gruesome. But again, that's the kind of stuff we like to see. And with, M. Night Shyamalan, he's not afraid to showcase some weird imagery like that, and we often see it in Servant. So Leanne survives this ordeal, and then she prepares for the arrival of Dorothy. But as soon as she returns, as to be expected, Dorothy wants absolutely nothing to do with her. And talk about some rude medical professionals, right? Y'all see the way those dudes just rolled Dorothy right on past Leanne, who's standing there with flowers in her hand, like they don't know the beef between them. You'd think they see a presumed family member, and they'd stop and show a little courtesy. But I digress. Moving on from that, the final thing that we see in this episode is a huge crack in the sidewalk begin to form that's stemming from the Turner house and making its way to the street. This is presumably as a result of Leanne's anger from not only being attacked earlier in the day, but also being shunned now by Dorothy. And we know that the crack in the pavement is only going to continue to get worse with time, as we did see a shot in one of the trailers for this season where there's a massive sinkhole in the middle of the street, so keep an eye out for that. But overall, I thought this was a really great way to kick off the final season of Servant. We got some creepy action with Leanne and her former crew, and now I'm hopeful that for the majority of the episodes going forward, we continue to see Leanne potentially go full villain mode, and we get to also spend more time with Dorothy, Sean, and Julian, as they're ultimately the protagonists of this series. But yeah, that's all I really have for you guys, and I'm curious to hear what you're thinking for this premiere of Season 4 of Servant. Let me know in the comment section below what you're thinking, and as always, if you want to stay up to date on all the latest in the world of movie news and TV news, well, you're in the right place, and I hope you consider subscribing to the channel because I would love to have you along for the ride. But until next time, this has been Millennium Movies, and I will see you all very soon.